Navy head coach Joe Amplo. To his right, attackman Alec Gregorek. To his left, face-off specialist Zach Hayashi. Coach.
Congrats to Iona. I mean, they drove down this morning. They played on Monday, and for them to come down here and start the way they did, terrific. You know, I think Chad is doing a great job building that program the right way. They've got a bunch of young kids who have stuck together. You know, I don't think anybody transferred out of that place after a year, which this day and age says something about him and his staff and the institution supporting those guys. And they're going to be pretty good. You know, they're going to probably compete in that league, and I was really happy to compete against those guys. I was proud of our guys for settling in. I thought our aggressiveness in the middle of the field really allowed us to separate, and that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to use our athleticism and go after them in the ride and on defense. So it turned out pretty well.
You had said that you thought he could become a premier goal scorer for Navy, and he puts up 4 here tonight. What did you think?
You know, it took him a little while last year, and I know he was frustrated, and I give him a lot of credit for how hard he worked through the end of the fall and the winter to put his body in position to do the things he can do. You know, he's a natural goal scorer. He always has been, and when it's really important to him, and I know it is, he's going to be one of the great ones here. I truly believe that. I think he's just got a knack for scoring goals. He loves to play. He plays the game the right way with joy. And I couldn't be more proud of him to start his, you know, his third-class year like this. Hopefully it gives him confidence moving forward.
Like how would you kind of size up the patience and whatnot going through last season and getting to this point?
Yeah, so last season was a rough one, just being a plebe at the academy with everything that comes with it. But you know, lacrosse with the guys, that's just everything. So you know, that helped me a lot. It helped me get through the year last year and to where I am today. So.
For both of you guys, just how happy were you to finally get on the field to play a game today?
Yeah, it was funny. We were talking like last night, and we're like, we've been just waiting for this. Like, you know, it sucked not being able to go out there last weekend, but to go on the field, play a great Iona team was just, it was so much fun. And to, you know, start off like the last season for the seniors and just really like, just go out there and just play for them, play with them. It was really, really special.
Well, can you comment on that, Joe? I mean, you canceled last week, and then here this week comes along, and it's just as bad.
Yeah, it's
probably
sometimes even worse, you know. And when you look at the temperatures tomorrow, and it's just one of those years. I think, you know, I talked to Patrick earlier this week about it. You and I spoke last week. You know, I think we really got to take a good hard look at what we're doing here in the beginning of the season. You know, and it just puts a tremendous amount of pressure on these student athletes to you know, to adjust. And then, you know, the mindset that you have. If we all shifted as coaches and change the model, and I don't know what the model is, I think it would take some long, good, hard discussion, but make some tough decisions. Then whatever that model is, I think we'll all conform, but mostly it's about giving them the best experience that they deserve. Sure. And not just our kids, it's all these student athletes that work their tails off, and they deserve to be playing in the right type of weather, when you don't have to be worried about a kid popping his hamstring because it's too cold, or the guys who go in the second half, they look like snowmen. You know, it's there's a model out there, and I think there's a lot of good people in our sport. If we put our heads together, we can come up with something that works.
You had mentioned that you thought that Zach and Colin could be a dynamic duo at the face-off stripe. What, 21 of 23 today?
22 or 24, something like that.
Yeah, at one point it was 21 of 23 late. What can you say about the job they did out here first game?
Yeah, I mean, we know they're very good at the X. I was actually very impressed with Iona's plan to start the game. It's something we haven't seen. It's certainly this year, but even in the past, they put a target on Zach and they pressured him, and I was really pleased with how he handled it and how our team responded to that pressure. It's something we, you know, truthfully didn't prepare for. And they had a plan to attack him, and we handled it. So it wasn't only winning the ball at the X, it was then we kept possession. You know, we cleared it against their 10-man, and we got some goals off the face-off, which is good to see.
Joe, how did you feel like the defense adjusted after the first quarter?
Yeah, you know, those guys, I mean, a couple of their dodges were excellent. And, you know, we didn't slide early. I didn't think Dan was seeing it great early. But credit to them. I mean, the first 2 shots went right in the corner. You know, the one right in front of our bench with that righty, I mean, he stuck that thing in a coffee can. It was a heck of a shot. We could have slid. We didn't. But I think once John made an adjustment to support the ball carrier and adjust our approach a little bit on the ball, we settled in, you know. Now, we can't take that long in the future to do that, but the first game, our guys seeing it at game speed against an opponent that is coming out guns a-blazing, it was a good experience for us to see.
So you had also mentioned to me that you thought Aiden Duraco could make an impact, and he had a hat trick. Were you pleased to see him
Yeah, you know,
put the ball in the net?
I said to Kenny Brochart in the third quarter, I said, we got some pop on the right side now, you know, with Alec and Aiden, and those guys did their job. They're goal scorers, you know, and we're going to have to decide how to give him some more looks somewhere else potentially and use them both in different ways. And he helped himself today and showed us, quite frankly, what he's been doing in practice, you know, and he had a couple of good scrimmages. So it's no surprise that he did it, but he's forcing us to really think about how to give him some more minutes in the future.
Zach, I know did not have the season you would have wanted to have last season, just with the injuries and whatnot. How are you feeling at this point, being able to get off to a 9 out of 10, 9 ground ball start? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I guess, like the whole game today for like the whole face-off unit was just like a lot of fun for me. Like seeing like Colin and I go out there the first bit and find success, and then have Joey and Luke go in there and also find success. It was really fun. And the group that we have there is really special, and really have a great time with those guys. And yeah, you know, I'm just looking forward to going out there week after week, and you know, just doing my best for this team, but also for those guys as well. So yeah, just grateful to be healthy and just being a part of this team.
Because he's local, I wanted to ask, but Nick Galini, he's been injured for 2 years,
Yeah.
and he scores his first career goal, ran on the first midfield. How good do you feel for a kid like that?
Yeah, I feel great for him. You know, we just gave him, you know, we give out a ball to each guy who scores their first career goal, and he got his, and the smile on his face was something, but more the joy that the other guys in the room felt for him. You know, because they shared in that experience of him not being able to play, right? They care about him tremendously, and they just want him to be able to be at his best and be healthy and help this team. And that's what teams are about, you know. So to be able to see that, enjoy that short moment, he's earned his spot on the first midfield by how hard he's worked. The kid's never complained. I mean, he's had everything thrown at him from a medical standpoint, and he never stopped just moving forward. And that's just a credit to how he was raised, to his parents, and the type of young man he is. So, you know, I expect a lot of really good things from him moving forward.
Chad Connolly went out early. Is he okay?
We'll see. You know, I mean, cold weather, you know, sometimes your soft tissues don't respond so well, but Chad's a competitor, and he's as tough as a kid as they make. So, you know, if there's a chance he's going to be healthy, he'll figure out a way to do that.
Well, that said, you had said you thought the short stick defensive midfield crew was one of your deepest, and I thought all those guys played well. Daly and all the guys who ran out there.
Yeah, Nagy was terrific today.
I mean, Nagy.
Yeah, Nagy was terrific today. Chase Green was terrific. Trafford, Grant Parker was excellent. And then Ryan Landolfi even got some run early in the game at D-Midi. You know, we can go 5, 6 deep at that position. Certainly, we're best when we have Chad out there. He's kind of the emotional leader of that group, and he's got a ton of experience. But, you know, I said to you last week, Josh Nagy's going to be one of the better players at that position in the country. I truly believe it. You know, he got his first career goal today. He's playing with an edge. He's as good of an athlete that this sport will see. And if he can stay healthy, he's going to have a chance to be one of the great ones.
So can you explain what Coach Brochart does with putting a guy like Colin out there at the beginning of the game? He's not a starter.
Yeah.
Why
you know, he gives a guy who's done a good job in practice a chance early in the game, and
the guy scored a goal.
and it worked. You know, he's got some pretty good tricks in his bag, Coach Kenny, and today it worked, and the whole team was on board with it. And Danny's a really smart lacrosse player. You know, he played at Manhasset High School, very well coached kid, and he just figured out a way to get open. You know, he ran the play to perfection, and I was really happy for him. He had a big smile on his face when he came off the field.
So you went to the same high school as Xavier Arline, but you're a little bit different player. But I think Coach had mentioned to me, plebe year was tough on you. Is that is it the weight off your shoulders now to have gotten through a year, figured this place out. I mean, I think that's probably a big part of why you're playing better, right?
Yeah, my confidence has risen tremendously. So every time I go out there, I'm confident in practice, I'm confident in the games, and I just feel good. But
You could say you're faster than Xavier. That's fine.
yeah.
It's on video, so you can watch it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.